Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of Faces of Leadership. This is our Christmas gift recommendations episode, recorded live while I'm on the road. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast, and if you haven't, why not? But if you've been listening, if you know there's one thing that we take seriously, it's our books. So guess what our gift list recommendation is composed of? That's right, books. The first book on our list is one written by one of my mentors and one of my friends. The book is Compelling Force Leadership by Dr. John Robinson. Folks, I don't care what level you are in leadership. If you've started your leadership journey, if you are thinking about starting a leadership journey, this is the book for you. Read it and apply it. The next book on our list is a book that is for somebody who's been really, really good this year. This book right here is an investment in that person's safety, in that person's well-being. It's actually a textbook. It's called The Theory of HBPRNA, and it's written by Greg Williams and Brian Marin. Folks, if there is a way to make those that we love safer, I believe we should do everything we can to do it, and this book provides that opportunity. Our next book made the list because this is the book that probably made the most impact on me, and especially earlier in the year. And that book is called Leading from the Middle by Scott Motz. Folks, it's a complete reframing of the middle manager. I'm telling you, if you're in leadership, you need to read the book. P.S. Scott, still would love to have you on the episode. Next up on the list is a book that is newly released, written by a friend of mine named Wayne South. Wayne was a guest of ours on episode 23, and the book is called A Lifetime of Service. You know, folks, what do you think we can learn from a man with 30 years of public service? Well, as it turns out, quite a bit. The author of the next book on our list is a friend of mine named Michael Cantrell. He happened to be on episode 12 of our podcast, and he has his own podcast called the Prison Officer Podcast. But when he tells a story about how he found his purpose, he didn't take the job because of his purpose. Instead, he found his purpose in the job. Next up on our list is a book written by none other than Instructor Z. Now, some of you may know him as Antonio Zarzosa, but everybody else knows him as Instructor Z. And this book is called The Ultimate Police Trainer's Playbook. Folks, take this book and apply it in the work that you do, and your people will be better off for it. Our guest from episode 22 wrote the next book on our list. Scott Medlin wrote the book Mental Health Fight of the Heroes in Blue. And the work that he's doing across the country right now, folks, in this field is absolutely mind-blowing. Be sure to check this book out. The next book on the list is called Kick-Ass Presentations. It was written by a good friend of mine named Dan Fraser, who also happens to be a comedian. Folks, he's a funny guy, but he's serious about his presentations. Yours will be better if you read the book. Next up on the list is a book that I found out about from our guest on episode 14, Karen Brash. Karen recommended this book written by a friend of hers called The Grit Factor. It's written by Shannon Huffman Polson. And folks, what a fantastic book. Listen, being on the cutting edge ain't all it's cracked up to be, but it's still meaningful. And P.S., Shannon would still love to have you on the podcast. No book list would be complete without the GOAT. The autobiography of Jim Mattis, written by Jim Mattis and Bing West, call sign Chaos. one of the best leadership books that I have ever read. If you haven't read it yet, shame on you. Get it on your list, get it in and under your tree, and read the book. All right, that wraps up the Christmas gift list recommendations for 2024. It's been a great year for us, folks, and we appreciate those of you who have listened to the podcast. Please share it with your friends, and if you know somebody that'd be a good guest, by all means, please reach out to us. But as we go throughout these next few weeks through the holiday season, please remember that you matter. Please remember that what you do matters, and we appreciate you so much. So from those of us at Faces of Leadership and at the Command Presence Leadership Institute, a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.